Here it is. The final Kamek fight. Gonna go grab a power block, and there you go. Thank you. Arguably easier than 4-2. If you know what you're doing. But I am thoroughly satisfied with that. That means we now have all of Mario Land Reborn. The project you saw me advertising at the start of the stream, Super Mario Land Rebirth, is complete. Happy is not even close to the word I could use right now for how glad I am for this. So, how am I going to show all of this off, start to finish? Well, if I move 2-1 into that 4th slot, you can now play that as a world, which now means I can play them in batches of 4 levels. This is the thing I've been looking forward to doing the most. It is time for us to finally enjoy Super Mario Land Rebirth. 3 lives count at the start. Ah, this is nostalgic. So all of those little aesthetic things that I was talking about way back in that first recording, in that first stream, they are prevalent here in spades. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Yeah, did I? Yes, I made stairs. That knocked me down. But again, it's 1-1, so it's not threatening. There we go. I knew I put a 1 up there. Now, if I go down, I think it takes me to a standard. Yeah, takes me to a standard because it's got the flower there. But I just like traveling around Daisy's Kingdom in Mario 3 style. It's just so satisfying. And there's the 1 up. So nice. The flag there. This is so nostalgic. It's so crazy to think after all this time it's finally done. And to think that the Super Bowl from Super Mario Land actually got into Mario Maker 2. That to me is amazing. Part of me thought, oh, should I get Mario Maker 2 so that I can remake these in Mario Maker 2 but with the correct power up? And I thought, no, don't do that. That is not what you intended to do in the first place. Don't do that. That's silly. Play the game as it was intended. Yeah, and right here, the flower there, that's where the pipe comes out at the end. Was there one here? No. Here. I feel like there was another block. It's been too long. It has been way... Can you do the 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 can? I do love it so. This is insane. And then the little bridges to get higher up to the end sign. I love doing that. To sort of emulate the way that you'd have the little lift and the higher up doors. Now we move on to 1-2. This was the first airship level I made. And it's also when I started experimenting with mushroom platforms and stacking their stems next to each other, because in the airship aesthetic, the mushrooms get like a little wiry base to them, which is really cool and I do like it. And I started playing around with flying buzzy beetles, which is good fun. Some of these levels I'm just so proud of. Now, I remember this was also the level where I started playing around with the idea of just hiding things in really fun places. So I know especially with... Yes! I knew there was one that was a mushroom that was hiding something. And a 1-up. Again, because I treated it as Mario Land, I didn't use any power-ups that weren't in Mario Land very much. I used them very sparingly. And again, we're playing it as with Mario 3, which means you have the option to pick up shells and P-switches and all that jazz. So you're automatically going to have a whole lot more going on. 7, 8, 9, 10. You buzz beetle. Now I know there was... Hang on. Did one of these blocks have something above it? It's been too long. I can't even remember how I made these levels. Like, I vaguely recall not feeling great one day, and the argument was, if you're actually feeling sick, stay home, but don't treat it, don't be subject to man flu. If you want to do something, maybe make Mario levels, and that's what I ended up doing. And not only did I feel much better immediately, but I got this level and 1-1 done in the span of a day. So like all of that stuff you saw, that like I did all of that in a day. And I didn't even show up the underground section. And like I'm super proud of that. I might even go back for it. Whoop! From memory, I think I put a safety platform underneath of the bottom. I can't rightly remember. 1-3. This was where I started having stupid amounts of fun. You come in with a door and no one thinks to jump at the start. But then people started noticing that people were finishing the course in all of 10 seconds, and I thought, come on guys. But I won't take that route because I like celebrating Mario Land's actual aesthetic, so we're going to focus on doing it this way. Or I'm just going to jump in the lava. The tricky thing with it in Mario Land is it's also where a lot of the secret lifts were to get you to the top area of the map. So I had to think about creative ways to remake those lifts. Also, I just loved the idea of putting seismics in here. I don't think I followed that up too much more past the first kingdom, but I had fun playing around with it. Also, remaking some of the bonus rooms. So I made them in reverse. Actually, I made it the right way round. But the version of it that's in the castle, you've got to find the first pipe for it. And that's actually the exit pipe here. The entrance pipe is marked specifically with the way I used fences and Bowser's. I remember the very first one I did, I think I used Bowser in a bunch of places, and then Bowser Jr. was used as the indicator. Okay, here we go past the Potobos. Another earthquake. I'm pretty sure somewhere in here I put a P-switch, actually, from memory. Yeah, there we go. Now, was it... No, it's just a fire flower. Cool. I feel like I tucked it in a corner. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. For a while I was using Bowser Jr. as my indicator for secrets for castle levels. Now if I go there... Ah, yes! The storage room! And when it loads, because I just destroyed the D... Land! Mario! Super! That's what the door leads to all the way back at the start. And you can get access to there from the P-switch as well, which is really cool. And that comes back out into the bonus room here. That's right. So you could accidentally stumble into the bonus room in reverse, and I believe if you can... I believe there was a way to get to the dry bones? I can't rightly remember. Hello, Parodia Q! Thank you for tuning in! I just walked into the piranha plant. Golly, made the level and then I keep... Good gravy! Also, I will admit, every time I put seismics in levels, I didn't initially realize that sometimes in amongst all of the seismics and the rocks falling, you actually get warning signs falling to the ground as well. Now, if this bomb doing its thing... Okay. There. And this section is the one that you can get into... But they specifically built in land that unless you were big, you couldn't get out. But there was no way you could get out unless you hurt yourself. But again, the moles could never aim down. And of course, first boss, don't have a Boom Boom as an option. We do have Bowser Jr. But, axe. First boss I wasn't going to make too easy to get past the, I wasn't going to make it too difficult for you to get to the axe and just deal with Bowser Jr. as per normal. So I figured I'd take it that way. And now, World 2-1. You were seeing that correctly. I recreated the UFO from the start of 2-1 in Mario Land by using the aesthetics from the underground stuff, and I mocked that as the night sky instead. So that's a UFO. And to this day, that is still one of the dumbest things that I've made in Mario Maker, and still one of the most aesthetically pleasing. And I'm amazed I was able to recreate the UFO. But yes, now we're up to World 2-1. From memory, I think there's a pipe on top of the UFO, or there's at least a way to get to the UFO. I think you can go like... Oh, it's been too long, but I think if I run jump and then I go over here, one up. No! Can I not? I could have sworn that I'd put like a pipe near the UFO. Ah. Okay, never mind. It's been too, like, maybe I wanted to put a pipe near the UFO and I thought, nah, that'd be janky. So I didn't end up doing it. My design philosophy was in making things easy to find and still encapsulating the spirit of the level that I'm referencing, but also experimenting. The whole reason that I called it Mario Land Rebirth was I wanted to remake Mario Land, but I wanted to also experiment with everything the engine could do. So, for example, I started having flying Cheeps here. And like, I loved using mushroom platforms for levels, and especially because you have a very limited kind of palette in terms of what you can do with water in Mario Maker, the original. It forced me to be creative. Now, because we don't have flowers, I used the algae instead. And that meant I could remake some of the bonus areas in underwater sections. And this was good because it gave me a sense of experimenting with how I was going to do blocks. And you'll even see here, this is actually the start right here. This is the start of me joining pipes together with ice blocks as a way to indicate how one spot ends and another begins. And like, this was based off one of those cut and paste bonus rooms that you would have in a lot of the Mario Land levels, because there were only about 2 or 3 different kinds of bonus area. So after a while it stopped being a case of making a bonus area, and instead I'd use the underground as a different way of making the, spreading out the length of the level. But yeah! So when I originally made the trailer for Mario Land Rebirth for my channel, that was all I had done.